Delighted to be joined by Tom Gerrard from the Mar Stable, alongside Growing Empire, who's keen to get in shot. How is he?
He's very good. This is, funnily enough, this is quite quiet for him, actually, as he takes a bite of the lead there. Yeah, this is pretty quiet for him.
I'll hold it there, yeah? It's all good, good going.
This is pretty quiet for him. Usually he's up and about. That's just his usual character. He's got his own idiosyncrasies, but he's a bit of a character, and he's the sort of character that you'd really miss around the stable, and you notice when he's gone. But it's great to strap.
And what has your journey been to the Mar Stable? You worked in racing back in the UK?
Yeah, I worked for Ed Dunlop previously before here, but a bit of a stud background as well. Yearling preps for Newsells and Highclere and people like that. I did the Irish National Stud course as well. A bit of racing, bit of stud background, and now in Australia. And
how have you found Australia so far?
Yeah, loving it. It's a bit better when you're strapping Group 1 horses like this, but loving the time. Great stable to work for in Kieran. He's a great guy. Got a great team here. We've obviously got the 7 runners. Loving it at the moment.
That's fantastic to hear. I'll let you go now, as I think he's not too keen on all the camera time.
And of course, Richo, multiple Group 1 winners in this field, including Hayasugi.
This mounting yard brought to you by the Monopoly game at Macca's. Download the My Macca's app to peel, scan and play today.
Yeah, we head into the yard here for the feature, the Manikato Stakes, and we'll kick off with I Wish, I Win, who's right at the pointy end of the market off the back of a terrific return in the Moir. He doesn't need any introduction given his overall CV, and just needs the right race shape and to get the breaks at the right time. And I Wish I Win was clearly right up to winning a Manikato.
Oh, absolutely, isn't he? And he's just a magnificent individual. He's come on lovely from his first up run in the Moir, which is really important. We know his grand final is ultimately the Everest. He was one of the first horses that was secured in the race. So they're planning his preparation to peak him third up into the campaign. But today, he's spot on. It's just a case of whether he gets the right run in transit, and we know what he can do.
It's great to see V8 in this lineup. It's his first run this preparation, and whilst we do think of him over a little bit further, or I do anyway, with his winning runner-up in the Australian Guineas, and of course he won the George Ryder. He's actually got a fantastic record over 1200 and fresh. He's 3 from 3 first up. He's won 3 of 4 over the distance, so maybe he deserves a bit more respect.
He certainly does, doesn't he? And I think probably some horses just get forgotten because they're very workmanlike, and that's probably where he falls into that bracket. But he's such a good-looking individual. You can see he carries a lot of strength. We've seen him from previous preparations have certainly improved each and every time he's gone to the races, and I think that's the same mode that he's in this time around.
Yeah, well, that is V8 as we move on to Recommendation, who has just come back this preparation. He's been well placed in the John Monash, the Bletchingley, and then, of course, his last Group 3 victory in the Heath. But there's no doubt he's absolutely flying. This is another level, however, but at least he's arriving in a real purple patch of form.
And he's got the fitness on his side, which is super important in these types of contests. We've seen him, each time they've put something in front of him, he's jumped over with absolute ease. This is a different kettle of fish tonight, but again, we're looking at a horse who's got the fitness, who's got the runs on the board, and that's going to hold him in really good stead at this grade.
That it will. Next up we have Southport Tycoon, who is around the $21 mark. He ran 5th first up in the Show County. That was behind Jolly Star. I thought it was a pass mark. It was probably nothing more than that. But we've seen him brave last preparation, and in a series of races he's got similar form to V8, which he ran into and, of course, beat in the Australian Guineas. So he might be a bit better over further.
Got those blinkers on for the first time as well, so they're just tinkering around with the gear, trying to get the very best out of him. He hasn't changed much in his appearance from when the last time I laid eyes on him. Quite an athletic looking individual who's always presents quite nicely, good in his coat, great in the yard as far as the way he moves around, and hopefully those blinkers get him back to where he has been in the past.
Yep, okay, there we have it. Next up, we've got Johnny Rocker, of course, who hasn't had really much luck with the draw and, of course, has those blinkers. But he'll need to improve a little bit off the Moir, and, of course, he needs to find that form that saw him run second to Imperatriz in the William Reid.
Yeah, another one who's had a bit of a gear change as well. We've seen them apply the blinkers, which can often help with these older horses. they just need a little bit of a change, and having these blinkers on, spiking him up and giving him a bit more of a will to get back to his very best form, which is very best form is certainly good enough, especially around here, Hutch.
Yeah, Caballas is next up. This is for Bjorn Baker. And look, there were excuses in the Moya, just the bomb the start. It was really over, game over from the get-go. But he got to the line pretty well. He'll need to get that part of it right, and he's still an improving horse.
Yeah, it's just a case of the map, isn't it, with him? He looks terrific, come on nicely from the run in the Moya, and it's just a case of whether we can see him extricate a path from his gate and get the very best out of him.
We can't forget, with regard to the next one, we'll take a look at the mare Estriella, that she did start a 3:10 favourite in the Moya. Might have been more in her hitting zone in terms of distance. She goes up to 1200 now, but she was rated well against those, so she does have a lot of quality. They want to work forward. She'll be in the firing line, and we'll see if she can see out the 1200 tonight.
Yeah, I haven't seen her for a couple of preparations, so it's a bit of a treat having a look at her today. You can see that she's definitely strengthened from her last prep. She's filled out nicely. She's always got a great nature, but I've always known her as an angular type who doesn't carry a great deal of condition, and what we're seeing of her tonight is very much a mature 4-year-old mare. So we saw her run well. You mentioned about the price that she started at. Her SP was very short, and she ran, I thought, not too bad considering she had excuses. I think this is a race where we're going to see the very best of her.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a deserved win first up as well for Komachi, who was fantastic, I thought, in the toy show. And, her fresh form now reads really well. And I did hear an interview with Gary Portelli mentioning that, he's kept the freshness in her, and she seems to run well and that's interesting because she'd certainly run in a lot of races and backed up and been very durable in the past. So I wonder if she can run another bold race here.
Well, Gary Portelli knows what it takes to win a Manikato. He won it with Rebel Dane in 2016, and he's brought this mare down, who has always been a very good-looking type with lots of strength and lots of scope. But this time around, she's come back even bigger and stronger. I remember having a look at her in the yard thinking that she's probably going to improve a little bit from the run, but she, to me, has come on the most amount. She was able to still win carrying condition, and that bodes very well for her chances tonight.
There she is, Komachi, of course, in the Yulong colours as well. As we'll move along now to Climbing Star. It's got a bit to find, I think, when you look at the overall picture. Was placed in the Group 1 Goodwood at the end of last preparation. That was after winning, of course, the Sangster as well, with the 56.5 on. So, look, a horse that's fresh up. Others have race fitness, but she generally goes well fresh.
Yeah, she's another one who's carries great condition first up into the preparation. And she's not so much of a strong sprinting type. She looks as though she gets over a little bit further as a physical specimen, but she's been turned out really nicely. I think this is probably one of the best parades I've seen from her in previous preps, and that bodes well for her kicking off tonight.
Oh, we look at Coleman and we think back to the Golden Slipper when runner-up, and he's just got the form around the right horses, and he's going out at $18, but when you sort of dive through his form, he's never far away, so he's not a hard one to make a case for and be attracted to that price, and he should get a lovely run from the barrier.
Yeah, he's not overly much bigger than I've seen of him last preparation, but he's definitely come on from his start in the Moya, which is really important as far as his looks are concerned. We know that he's a horse that has got plenty of talent. If he gets the right run in transit, he's going to be very competitive.
Yeah.
Matty Lawrence just with me now, guys. You like the parade of Coleman?
Yeah, really happy with him. He's most certainly come on from the Moya, and the last sort of 2 weeks has been brilliant for him.
And that inside barrier, can you use that barrier?
Well, I think we sort of have to. We don't really want to be kind of... ideally, we're sort of no further back than one back.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to, use him a little bit. But ultimately, we've got a fantastic jock, and he'll make the best decision.
Good luck, buddy.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I wish him all the very best of luck as we move on to the favourite, Growing Empire. Good market support for him too. He should be nearly undefeated. He's done it all. Went back to 1100 in the Poseidon Stakes. Went forward, tough late. Comes back to the Valley where he's won. Biggest test to date, but he has 52 kilos. Craig Williams, and he's certainly in scintillating form.
Yeah, scintillating form, scintillating type as well. Geez, he's a good-looking horse. He's got a great walk on him. Lots of fitness there, taking everything well within his stride, and he's one that you could definitely not underestimate. On form, on looks, everything about him is perfect.
Talking about underestimating, what about Hayasugi? She ran second, of course, in the Moya. Her run, very good, or very alike. I Wish I Wins, wasn't it? And she draws better tonight, finally draws a gate. She might be able to use that up and just be that little bit closer than a run, and that could be everything required for Jamie Carr and Clint McDonald to get a Group 1.
always been a massive fan of this filly, and the way that she has come on from her previous preparations. It's so important to see them make that natural step from a 2-year-old to a 3-year-old, and she has absolutely taken that with leaps and bounds. It was good to see her return well first up, and to me she has to be one of the horses to beat, not just on form but on looks alone.
I think it's a good opportunity for the 3-year-olds, Lizzie. I'm going with a Growing Empire. I think Hayasugi's right in the game. I Wish I Win. He's too good to leave out. He'll just need some luck from the barriers, and there's a host of others you can make a case for, but I'm hoping the 3-year-olds can stand up.
Yeah, same, Hutch. I think that it looks as though the 3-year-olds are very, very talented on form, and then when you look at them on looks as well, they match up, which is really a great recipe for these types of races. I thought Hayasugi looked absolutely magnificent. She's come on as far as her physicalities, which is important, as I mentioned, from that 2-year-old to the 3-year-old preparation. She's so calm, relaxed, focused and composed, which is another element that you need to see. Growing Empire, first look at him, he's a magnificent individual. You have to have him somewhere in the mix. And I Wish I Win. I spoke to Kat Coleman previously. I'm going to catch up with her pre-race as well, but he just looks $1 million. If he gets the luck, he's a class horse in the field.
Okay. This race, which is interesting, coming back a month, you got 4 runners in it. It's a great race. Can I start at the top? Recommendation, obvious leader?
Well, you would think so. If he, his best attribute is his speed from the gate. He travels at a high cruising speed and he kicks off the bend. He's got a good little record here at the Valley, and he's arguably in his career best form.
Southport Tycoon?
I've really targeted this race for him. He needed the run first up. I put the shades on. It's right at the shortest end of his distant range, but wrapped with the horse, and he trialled up really sharp.
Should we forgive Estriella's first up run?
I think so. I think she presents better regardless of the run. Like, she was just presented a fraction tight and a fraction tucked in the yard, and presents a lot better today. She'll definitely come on. She needs luck from that draw.
And then the 3-year-old, the quality is there. It's interesting, you've been speaking a lot about Growing Empire, the fact that he's still learning. Can he make an error and still win a race like this tonight? That might be the only query.
I doubt it, but he's been winning and winning well. This is a step up today into the, you're going up to the A graders. That's why we put the shades back on him. He's won around the Valley with them on, and all going well, he'll use his speed from the gate, and he's only got 52, so you want to use that to your advantage as well.
Mate, good luck. Yeah, it's a great effort to have 4 in this great race, so good luck.
No, thank you very much.
Kat Coleman, last word on I Wish I Win. He looked magnificent in the yard. Are you happy with him?
Yeah, super. Really happy with how he saddled up today and presented tonight. Look, we just need luck.
And that's what it's all about. Do you think you're going to get it? How does the map play out in your head?
Yeah, look, it looks a little bit ugly in that regard. We're probably going to be out the back and have to do a fair bit of work coming out wide. But as long as he's strong through the line, we'll be happy.
Well, he's a class horse in the field. Best of luck.
Thank you.
And she is Kat Coleman talking about the chances of I Wish I Win. It's all got to be a case of whether he's going to get the luck in running. And of course, Charlotte, one of the greatest spectacles is having a look at these horses behind the gates, because there is quality personified.
Yeah, that's what you expect when you get to this level, and I'm pleased to say that all horses are coping with everything beautifully. I mean, the crowd here is electric tonight. Racing under lights is a whole different scenario. It's sort of the first one of the season, so it's new for some horses, but I tell you what, these horses are all handling it like pros, and good luck to whoever wins this race, because it was a stellar field, and we head up to Matt Hill for the call of the great race tonight.
Growing Empire, Komochi, I Wish I Win, good pipe opener in the Moya, and Johnny Rocker are going to be the final 4. Johnny Rocker running a blinder, of course, in the William Reid earlier in the year behind the Great Imperatrice. Komochi to join them. I Wish I Win moves forwards for yet another Group 1 assignment for him. Growing Empire, Craig Williams has won the race twice, and Johnny Rocker are going to be the final 2. Tote favourites is Growing Empire at $3.70. I Wish I Win $5, and Hayasugi at $5.20. Here's Johnny Rocker. Ben Mallam for Nick Ryan to complete the line. Johnny Rocker, the final one forward. as they just work a little here with Growing Empire, who's just a little bit reluctant. Big occasion for the 3-year-old. So the gate's being cleared. Johnny Rocker going into the stalls. The field is set. Group 1, in front of a big crowd at the Valley. Starter glances over the line. They're ready. Sickle racing in the Manikato. Johnny Rocker missed the start. 3 lengths. Climbing Star going back to second last. Estriella fired out with Growing Empire, followed by Cabalas Recommendation. Next in the field, Coleman got to 5th on the inside of Komochi Hayasugi. A length and a half, V8 Southport Tycoon. Towards the end, I Wish I Win, Climbing Star and Johnny Rocker. Estriella 800 metres to go. Burning Rubber leading by about a length and a half. Growing Empire second, 2 1/4. Cabalas outside of Recommendation. A length and a half, Komochi Hayasugi, 6 off the lead between horses. Then came Coleman next the inside, fizzed up from V8 Southport Tycoon. Next Climbing Star, I Wish I Win, and Johnny Rocker last. Estriella trying to give her a breather before the corner at the 400 metres from Growing Empire, who's a half length away, stoked up. A length and a half, Cabalas Recommendation. Behind those, Hayasugi, Coleman. Into the straight, it's Estriella at the 200 metres. Growing Empire won't go away, followed by Recommendation. Growing Empire took the front. 100 metres to go from Estriella. Then Southport Tycoon. Growing Empire is in front, holding on. Southport Tycoon lunged but missed, I reckon. Growing Empire, I'd say, from Southport Tycoon. It will be a photo. They were followed by a wall of them. Estriella behind them got tired. Climbing Star, Coleman and Komochi. Then I Wish I Win, Recommendation, Hayasugi, Johnny Rocker. Behind those horses then was V8 and Cabalas at the end of the fields.
Outsiders got it right on the line. Southport Tycoon. Kieran Mars Quinnell at the race, but it's a boil over. Southport Tycoon. We spoke to Kieran, Lizzie, pre-race. He said, I've targeted this race, and the question will be asked, did Craig just for a moment think he had the race with Growing Empire? Did he just for a stride sit up a touch? And Southport Tycoon nailed him on the line.
Well, Southport Tycoon certainly nailed him on the line. That was an inch perfect ride there. We've seen Mark Zahra pull out some amazing performances in the past, and that has to be one of the very best. We could see he was back in the field, good speed as we would have envisaged in this type of race, and he was absolutely hutched, growing wings over those concluding stages, and just nailed a very, very gallant Growing Empire on the line.
Yeah, it was an amazing finish. A few talking points, and we're going to talk about them. Growing Empire, we've seen him stop pretty quick in front a couple of starts back, but let's hear from the winning rider. What a ride it was as well, right up the inside. Let's head out to Charlotte.
Yeah, well, just these couple past us, but geez, the irony of racing, Mark. You are the epitome of that, aren't you?
I thought you were going to say you were the arsiest bastard ever. Oh, wow. Look, I just rode him for luck, quiet, the speed go, and I mean, seeing my other horse in front like that, geez, you gave such a good chase. You know, me and Kieran were quietly confident, like he was going really well, and I didn't even have a chance to pull the whip. You know, I was coming through that quick and just got the stride in the right time.
Everyone thought that he might need the run and he'll be better up in distance, but I think he proved all those people wrong.
Kieran's a master trainer. Like, I went up and trialled him probably 6 weeks ago, and he was, a bit fat, and he went just okay, and then I went up to Sydney and rode him, and I seen him again the other day with the blinkers on at the jump outs, and he just looked like a new horse. Like, he knows how to get these horses ready in the right time, and I'm happy to be on the other side of a roughie winning.
Yeah, well, he knows how to get the horses ready, but you also know how to nail them right on the line.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I won or not. I was coming that fast, and knowing the other horse, like, he's a stargazer, and he would have thought, him and Craig, I reckon, would have thought they won, and if there's, the only way to beat that horse is to get him late before he can see you coming, and lucky I know him.
Well, you did that well, and a Group 1 for Bennett Racing. That's fantastic, isn't it?
Absolutely. Thanks, Charlotte. Very, very happy.
Well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Nathan. Congratulations, Kieran. Let's take a deep breath. You said before the race, this is the race you've targeted him for. By 200 metres out, did you think he could get there?
No, I didn't. But he raced really well around the valley. He needed that first up run. I said to Nath he went from a boy to a man over the break. He needed that first up just to get him back in the swing of things. A month between runs, trial. He sort of put the writing on the board in the trial. His sectionals were phenomenal late. I thought Mark was the perfect jockey for him because you had to play that nice waiting ride, and Nathan, the boys, how good.
He can find a pretty good horse, can't he?
He can find them. He's got about half a dozen 2-year-olds in the stable at the moment. They all showing a bit. So, yeah, they can definitely find them.
Mate, congratulations, Nate. What a huge thrill. And the work that Kieran and his team have done, unbelievable.
Yeah, no, thanks, Richo. They told us from word go that he was a pretty good colt. They've looked after him. They just said, we've got to wait. We kept waiting, just put all the trust in the boys, and wow. I actually cannot believe what Mark Zahra just did on him then. Okay. I did say at the 200, I'm like, we're just going to run a nice race here, but to run him down and win it, geez, that's some run. And Kieran and his team, well done, and Dave Eustace also had a lot to do with it, so well done with Dave as well, and I'm just so happy for everyone, mate. It's I actually feel like I'm going to have a heart attack.
Don't do that, mate. You've got a lot to live for, mate. Don't do that, whatever you do.
That's probably the most adrenaline I've ever come out of me. Geez, that's just unbelievable.
Mate, you've been able to produce that over 1,200 metres. It's unbelievable. Congratulations, Nate. That's epic. He ran down at your other colt, who was so good. Did he just start to drift and think that the job was over?
Well, you know, he is a colt that's learning. I just had a quick chat to Craig there. Like, Growing Empire, serious horse. They would have rang some really slick times early, and to be there, like, he looked the winner all the way down the straight. He's just been collared late. Serious colt. He's got a massive lot of upside. Craig said he just, with the shades on, he just sort of might have thought the job was maybe, but, phenomenal, for both colts, really. Growing Empire, I thought, was our better seed. But that toughness, that race toughness showed there late.
You got a lot to celebrate. Go and do that. Well done.
Cheers.
Awesome, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. What a race, and fantastic ride from Mark Zahra. He just bided his time, took the shortest way home, and a great night at the office for some fantastic people involved with Southport Tycoon. It goes out at $21. Growing Empire. He was so brave, Simon. He's been up there, on speed. He's chased at speed. He's put a length on the field, and he looked to have the race in his keeping.
He's a Coolmore, he's an Everest horse from what we've seen tonight, because he pinged the lids with the blinkers on. He raced a little keen, but when Estriella, the leader, crossed him, you see him was able to switch off then. Craig Williams was then able to come back. He wanted to come back an extra half a length if he could. See, he's got his feet in his mouth. And then you've got Cabalas out wide, Recommendation taking a sit, and then you've got Ayasugi, she's pulling her head off. When the speed came out of the race, Coleman was also unbalanced. Mark Zahra nice and relaxed on the winner, Southport Tycoon. He decides to ride the pain here because he's got a wall of horses on his right shoulder here with I Wish I Win getting to the outside.
Yeah, Craig Williams is travelling nice. He's got the Persuader out, one around, just a reminder, turning in. And Growing Empire, at this point, you think, well, if he finds that length, I don't think anything out of the pack can really get him, but Mark Zahra's got other ideas. He doesn't go round the horse, he saves ground. He's still got 2.5 lengths to make up, basically inside the 75 metres, and then it's a bob of the heads. What a finish.
Did you think Southport Tycoon had got up and won?
I didn't know, honestly. To be honest with you, I had no idea.
This is the biggest swing in the books, and being a short half head, we're just waiting on final margins. It could be our biggest or most expensive photo finish refund of all time. Short half head, if you happen to run second, we pay you out on Sportsbet. Lizzie Jelfs.
Yeah, fantastic. Well done, Luke. Your first Group 1 winners. What's that feeling like?
Oh, that's unreal. I'm actually not sure how he won. That's some ride from Mark. Jeez. Yeah, I'm speechless.
You've only been with this stable for a couple of months. It's being able to get your first Group 1 winner must be very special.
Yeah, it's really good to work with these high-quality horses every day. Kieran does an unreal job, and he's a prime example of that.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well, I just spoke to Craig Williams as well, team, who rode Growing Empire. He said, by gee, he worked so hard early on. He's such a brilliant colt. He shot clear. Of course, he's got the blinkers on. He said he was really starting to change his action at the end as he was getting tired. He said he was encouraging him to get to the line, but then right on the line he got nutted. So, there's so many postscripts out of that. Some brilliant runs, including first, second and third. What about the run of I Wish I Win as well? So much to unpack. A brilliant Manikato Stakes.
We both tried to save it, torn apart we separated, so I'm not gonna educate it. Down the flat we grew was deep. Just wait a minute, it's over. Guess everything's coming closer, but now you never take. I'll respect the parade.